Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, humans and extraterrestrials, it is almost that time. GTA 6, November 19th, 2026. Now listen, there's two things I want to talk about, okay? I want to talk about the price and I want to talk about the potential lack of a disc for GTA 6. And that's it. First things first. GTA 5, pardon me, came out September 2013, right? And then it came out for PC April 2015, right? So let's take the Xbox and PS4 release. That was 13 years ago. So just off the top, that's 13 years to save up for this. Now, I'm not justifying the high price. I think it's excessive. I think it is excessive. However, I do make an exception because Rockstar puts out phenomenal product. If you're watching this video, you know how amazing Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, and just the track record and the history from Rockstar. Now, are they taking advantage of at this point with this $80 initial price point for a standard edition, not to mention the $100 Ultimate Edition? Perhaps, but I want to entertain this for instance. Obviously, nobody really did this, but let's just say that since 2013, you started saving for Grand Theft Auto 6, whenever it is to come out, right? And it's been 13 years. Just off the top of my head, right? Don't get upset, but think about it for a second. If you divide 80 by 13, it's about $6.16 per year to put away. Most of us spend that at lunch, all right? Now, if you're thinking about the Ultimate Edition, that's $100 divided by 13 years, which would be about $7.70, which again, we spend that at lunch, right? Now, over the course of 12 months, a year, that's not a lot of money at all, right? But the times have changed. Times have changed. Everything is more expensive. And I totally understand that. It's just, there are certain, like I was looking at someone on Twitter and they were talking about adjusting to the price of inflation. And no one wants to hear this. I don't want to hear it either because it's kind of ridiculous, even though it may make sense. But when you factor in the price of inflation, it's either the same price in terms, it's not the same price. It's hard to explain it. I'd rather refer you to the page on Twitter that actually did the calculation. But it is expensive now because everything is expensive now, and it's terrible for us as consumers, right? But the thing about it is, over the course of 13 years, it's $6 to $7 per year, right? In terms of putting it away to looking forward to this point. Now, the reason I bring that up, even though a lot of people may not look at it from that standpoint, is you have games from studios that don't really care about us as gamers that put out the same slop every year, right? Whether you're talking about a roster update in a sports game, but it's pretty much the same game. There's not that many features being added, right? Like a Madden or a 2K, right? And let's say you're a Call of Duty fanboy, right? How many times do you want to play Nuketown? They just keep giving it to you. Oh, you want a wall jump? You want a wall walk? What do you want? Rocket boosters on your ankle now? Like what like they're giving you the same nonsense every year, but guess what? It's $60, so it's justifiable. Think about it. Let's just use 10 years. Let's not even use 13 years. In the last 10 years, if you bought Call of Duty every year, 2K every year, Madden every year, that's without tax, that's $600, right? Now, in the last 10 years, considering, let's just say you didn't do any microtransactions, you're just having fun on Grand Theft Auto. You're still playing Grand Theft Auto 5, right? So you can justify it in that regard. Like instead of saying you paid $600 over the course of 10 years for the same game over and over, you're now paying $20 more than you would for a roster update, pretty much, for a game that has tremendous replay value. And to touch on what I said just a little while earlier, I make an exception for Rockstar because it's such a phenomenal game. I could list so many reasons why I could justify paying $20 more than a different game for Rockstar, but it all boils down to replay value. Replay value, replay value, replay value. For instance, I'll get into that in a second. For GTA 5, I got that digitally, right, on PS4. And I justified it because I said, how much space is this going to take up on my hard drive, on my internal hard drive? And I said, you know what? It's never coming off. Like once I download this, I'm not going to remove it to make room for another game. This game is going to be on here. And to this day, it's still on my PS4, right? So I justified it. I was like, I could have went and got the disc, but think about it. In 2013, I chose to get it digitally. Was that silly on my part? Perhaps, right? Because I'm all for ownership, right? Don't get me wrong. Just because I say you had 13 years to save 80 bucks, 100 bucks, it doesn't mean I'm pro corporation and I'm saying that they justify this. I want to make something abundantly clear. I disagree with this only because it might set a precedence for other studios, publishers, and corporations to follow suit and think that they can charge this price point as well. And that is not the case. I'm not down with that. I don't agree with that. And that to me is the only worry about this, right? Call of Duty can't come out here charging $100 for no Ultimate Edition. The people will revolt, and they'll revolt with their wallet and they won't participate, right? You have to improve the product. You have to give us some replay value. And let's be honest, if they come out with a Modern Warfare, a Black Ops every September, every fall, every year, how innovative can it be? Rockstar puts 13 years. Brother, I watched a video of, I think it was Red Dead Redemption 2, and an NPC was hammering a nail into a railroad. And when you zoom in on it, the nail is gradually, slowly going lower and lower into the ground. And I was just like, the level of detail of that is not found in other publishers or studios. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And the thing about GTA, right, is not only are you playing the single player, but you have the multiplayer that lasts a decade. Like there are people playing GTA 5 to this day, 13 years later, online, whether it be a heist and they're constantly giving updates. This video is not about microtransactions. This video is not about specifically corporate greed. It's just, I can justify paying $60, $80, $100 for a Rockstar game once every 10 to 13, 14 years before I ever buy the same slop from another studio once a year. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. The other issue I want to talk about is the conversation going on about there being no disc. Now listen, right here I have, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is Red Dead Redemption 2 for the PlayStation 4. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that. Now, this game came with 2 discs, right? You've got the data disc and the play disc. You also have a map behind here, if I could remove that, right? You got the map here that you could put on the wall. Pardon me, I keep banging the mic. All right. Now, I bought this game because obviously Red Dead Redemption 1 was one of my favorite games. And I knew the sequel was going to be a banger as well. And I come from that era where I enjoy getting the physical media, right? I've been to midnight releases. I have a collection of older games, even from back to PS3, right? But then I'm thinking, and I'm sitting back and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, times have changed, and as much as I want to be angry, and I don't agree with them not providing a disc, but I'm thinking to myself, why are they not providing a disc, right? Rather than just being naive and angry, I'm trying to understand, like, and adapt, because let's be honest, we have to adapt. Before I get into why I suspect, this is just speculation, right, why they're not releasing a disc. Now, I don't want to get into that too deep into it, because when you really think about it, it's like, oh, you're not going to own anything, right? I totally understand that. I don't want to be ignorant to that aspect, you know, like you'll own nothing and be happy. I get it. I understand where a lot of guys are coming from. But think about it like this. Let's go down a quick memory lane. If you're like Gen Z or whatever, you may not remember this. You know, your father, your mother might know. Millennials know for sure. But back in the day, there was a 5.5-inch disc. Floppy disk, a 3.5-inch floppy disk, and a 3.5-inch floppy disk held 1.44 megabytes of data. Nothing. There's a Word document on your computer that's more than 1.44 megabytes of data. All right. And then from there, we've evolved to CDs, right? I remember a CD was 650 megabytes, and then they had 700 megabytes. And then we've evolved to USB, right? Now we have USB-C, and, you know, it keeps growing. But guess what? Now we have Blu-ray. Right? Now, I want to mention this right here, specifically triple layer. Okay, so Blu-ray, single layer, 25 gig, dual layer, 50 gig, triple layer, 100 gigs, right? Used for 4K Ultra HD movies and modern PlayStation 5 games, right? The significant point is modern PlayStation 5 games and the size, 100 gigabytes. You may not be able to see this, but on the back of Red Dead Redemption 2, it says 105 gigs minimum. I'm not sure if you can see that. If you have it, if you know, you know, right? 105 gigs minimum. Now the PS4 hard drive was what? 500 gigs and I think 1 terabyte. And of course you could replace it and expand it. So I don't want to get too deep about PlayStation 4 storage. But the point is there's a data disk and a play disk and it's Blu-ray, right? This is current technology, right? In the big 2026. So I'm thinking to myself, why are they not including a disk? Now, before I continue what I'm saying here, I want to say, I think it's ridiculous to go to the store to buy a case with a code in it when, for instance, on PlayStation, you can go to the PlayStation store in the comfort of your home and just pay for the code and download your game. I think that's ridiculous, right? And I want a disc and I want a map and I want this and I want that. But I'm thinking to myself, how can I understand the times that are changing? Now, look, if this is 100 gigabytes, right? And if you play on Steam or PC, you know that Call of Duty, for instance, or Battlefield is in excess of 100 gigabytes. Like I actually have Battlefield 6 on my PC right now, and it says 135 gigabytes, which is in excess of a Blu-ray disc. So if I wanted to go to the store instead of Steam and get Battlefield 6, I would need a data disc and a play disc. And sure, I would love to have that. But look at your desktop. I'm quite certain you don't have a CD-ROM, a DVD, or a Blu-ray drive on it because times have changed. We've gone from floppy disk to USB to Blu-ray. And guess what? The file sizes and the quality has increased so much to the point where the shit probably can't fit on a disc anymore. That's just the direction we're heading. That's why PlayStation has a diskless drive. Now, I'm not a shill for corporations. I'm not trying to justify them taking away more and more from you and still charging you money. I'm on that team. If I'm paying for something, I want to physically have something. It's just, I'm trying to understand like why. I don't want to just be angry. I want to say, I'm trying to look at it from a logical perspective. And it's like, the more I look at it, it's like, either they're going to have to update the technology, right? And it's like, it's more convenient for you to download it anyway. It's just, I think it's important that when you're paying your money, you feel like you've purchased something. You're not streaming something. But maybe I need to take a step further back and try to anticipate where we're headed, further from that. But I just think it's ridiculous. Like, imagine waiting in a line for an hour for a case with a code in it, right? There's no disc, there's no book, there's nothing, right? And look, we've come from the floppy disk. This right here, what is this? This is a 32 gigabyte USB thumb drive, okay? This is a USB thumb drive, but it's FAT32. I don't want to get too technical. This is a FAT32 file system. The largest file size for FAT32 is 4 gigabytes. So although this has a capacity of 32 gigabytes, the individual maximum file size is 4 gigabytes. So if I want to transfer a file from my desktop to my laptop, and let's just say this was my only USB thumb drive, I would have to change this file system from FAT32 to NTFS in order to facilitate a file size over 4 gigabytes. I don't want to get too technical, but work with me here. Times have changed, and I'm trying to justify it. Now listen, how many of y'all know what this is? That's Anita Baker. For those of you who may not be able to read it, if it's too small, that's Anita Baker. This is a cassette. This is an audio cassette. Let me open it up. You see how, like, back in the days, 2018, I went to the store and I bought this, and that was inside. Let me see, if I open this up, look at this. Some people may not even know what this is. They're like, what the hell is that? They probably think this should be in a museum or something. Anita Baker, Rapture, 1986. Now, obviously I didn't buy this, or my parents didn't buy this in 1986, but this is when it was stamped as far as when it was released. All right, now listen. This is how people used to go to the store and buy music. All right, they used to go to the store, buy this, bring it home, put it in their stereo or their Walkman, and then hit play, and then it would spin these gears and it would play the music. Think about how far we've come now. If you want to listen to music, you grab your phone, right? You open up Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you like, YouTube, and you listen to your music that way. Times have changed. If the album that you just listened to recently, you don't have a case for it, right? So I hear myself. It sounds like I'm justifying them charging you and taking things away from you. And that's not my angle. That's not where I'm trying to take this conversation. I'm just trying to get a conversation going. So maybe let me know down in the comment section how you feel. If you know how far we've come from this to this, right? Or from this to this. And it's like, now it's like, think about it. We're in excess of 100 gigabytes for modern PlayStation gig. Bro, let me ask anybody who's played Call of Duty Warzone. How many times have you opened up Steam or whatever platform you use to Activision, whatever, and it's telling you need an update. And then the update has like a 200 gigabyte download. And you're questioning like, how is an update bigger than the overall file size? And you have to sit through that download. Think about it. That download couldn't fit on 2 of these discs as per triple layer Blu-ray, right? So either something has to change, and it's a little early. I don't want to speculate on what's going to happen with PlayStation 6, but I don't know. Anyway, that's a little bit too much. I don't want to get too technical and dive deep too much into the file size and the lack of a disk. But I'm going to be honest with you. To sum up everything that I've just said, I'll make an exception for Rockstar because, look, I'm not talking about this. This isn't about standard edition and ultimate edition. This is about $60 to $80, right? So we can leave that debate about the ultimate edition later. I'll say one thing. I don't believe that there should be a paywall between the standard edition and features that they're charging for in the ultimate edition. I don't agree with that at all. I think that if you buy the $80 version, you should be able to go to whatever store you want in the open world community once the online features are available. That's just how I feel, right? This is only about the price and the medium or lack thereof. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's my stance on it. I make an exception for Rockstar. I don't believe other studios can follow suit. I hope this doesn't set a dangerous precedence for other publishers and studios to charge $80 to $100 for a game that doesn't have the replay value or exceptional quality that Rockstar provides us, the gamers. I don't think that they should overcharge us, but Rockstar is just ahead of the game, man. There's a reason why it took 13 years in between to come out. All right. So let me know what you guys think about that below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're new, and let's get a conversation going. Am I off track? Do you agree? Let me know down in the comments below. Peace.